There were several comments after my video, The Games Industry Elephant, where people were asking, well, how should the Avowed Art Director address Elon Musk and his post on X? There were a lot of thoughtful comments and very long posts. Today, I would like to thank you for those comments, and I would like to address a few of the questions that were asked. Nurshcast writes, how do you think the guy should have responded to Musk's comment? This is a great question. First, for context, the art director of the game Avowed, which is set to ship later this year, decided to post some comments publicly about his game. Apparently, there are pronouns in the game, and Elon Musk reacted on X, saying that having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly unacceptable. To which the art director responded, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default, you said little shit.
People don't like you very much, do they?
Here's the problem. Social media is like a chainsaw. You can get a lot of work done. It's a very powerful tool, but you can also cut your leg off. It's very dangerous. You can literally kill yourself. So you need to be careful. If people care about your game at all, which I hope they do, you are going to get criticism about the game online. There are some gamers you will never please, but focusing on them is not where you should spend your time. If you react with ridicule, sarcasm, or scorn, you're allowing the bad actors, your detractors, to set the narrative of your game. You're signing on to it by arguing with them. And here's the problem. It's an amplification move. So they are going to give it back to you 10x. And a lot of these people have nothing better to do than argue with you on the internet. You, on the other hand, have a game and a team to take care of. Dealing with anger is one of the classical problems of human existence. Acting with emotion isn't going to win the day. It never does. As Marcus Aurelius put it, how much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that aroused them in us? But I get it. It's definitely tricky. When you're working with a team on a game that you love and someone says something that's very hurtful, it's easy to get defensive. At the same time, I don't think he should have responded. I think he should have let the game speak for itself. A great game will survive a controversial choice. Jonathan Grover writes, I appreciate your insight and perspective and have really been enjoying your content. And also, as a dev myself, I find the rhetoric towards the end of this video deeply concerning. It strikes me as victim blaming and allowing bad actors to control the discourse surrounding a game. I agree with you, Jonathan. You shouldn't cede the narrative of your game to anyone. You should be responding as positively as possible. And that means if you're going to respond to criticism, you need to do so in a positive way. You need to be thinking about, how do I persuade people to my way of thinking, to my viewpoint? And you should always leave the door open so that maybe you can even bring in your biggest critic. When Total Biscuit first reviewed Gotham City Imposters on his YouTube channel, he was critical. He had a lot of complaints about the game. He was right. It was a fair review. We didn't get mad. Instead, we fixed things and then went back to him and asked him to review it again, which he did. And I always really appreciated that he would do that. It was very fair of him.
There you go. That's fair, isn't it? It is currently 1 on 5. 1 on 5.
If the art director felt compelled to respond, then he could have said something like this. Elon, we're really sorry that you don't like the design choice that we made, but we felt that it was important for our customers, our fans, to have as much customization as possible. And this was just one choice of many that will be available when we launch our game. I hope that you'll give us a try because we think we've made something special. If they didn't want to respond directly, they could have done an interview where they talked about all their customization options. They could have made it something exciting. They could have done a video of their own. No interview, just do a video. Showcase every cool customization option in Avowed. Get people excited about what's coming. Here's the thing. I personally believe if the Avowed art director wanted to make Elon mad, it would be far more effective to turn a negative into positive sales and press coverage for your game. The truth, though, is that I've been around a few billionaires and they're in their own world and they have very little time, so we probably wouldn't have noticed. Rimshot Killer writes, "At what point does it become unreasonable to expect the devs to be professional and turn the other cheek? At what point do we have to acknowledge that the attack or criticism has crossed the line and therefore give the devs the chance to answer honestly and tell the other to shove it?" Thanks, Rimshot. Here's the deal. Game developers should always act professionally. There is never a time that they should come to work and act anything but as their best selves. And game companies, they should have policies around how you interact with the public, both in social media and in person. And the thing is, most companies used to have these policies, and I don't know what's going on that they don't seem to have them anymore. When I worked at Xbox, we would get ready for E3, and the first thing that we would do is gather everybody in a room that would be attending. And in that meeting, we would explain to them that the minute they got out of the building and headed to the airport, they were now acting as an Xbox representative. They were no longer in a private situation. If you think about it, a flight from Seattle to LA is going to be filled with partners, competitors, and press. And if someone were to talk about a feature at the airport, it's very possible that that could end up as a headline 2 days before you even have your show. Not only that, E3 was a lot of fun. There were bands, there were parties. Game developers like to have a good time. And so part of the reminder to staff was that they were there to represent Xbox and they should act accordingly. Getting drunk and revealing a game feature or giving an interview to someone without approval could cost you your job. Look, being respectful doesn't mean letting the internet haters dictate how people talk about your game. You should be doing that. But don't react. Don't let them set the narrative. You set the narrative. If you love your game and your team, you should be talking about what makes it great and why you made the choices you did and persuading them that you've made something that they're going to really enjoy. And most of all, make a great game, because at the end of the day, that's all gamers really want.
If you had to sum up video game design in just one word, what would that one word be?
I think you can't lose sight of the fact that it has to be fun. So fun would definitely be
That's a good one.
yeah.